to this day, that gives me the chills. How about you?
Pretty awesome.
It's probably my most favorite trailer ever. Probably. But until the next one, and then that one will be my favorite. Hey, welcome to the WildStar live stream. I'm here with Chad Pappy Moore.
How you doing?
And with...
yeah, it's flipped.
with downtown Morgan Brown. Here we are today. It's been a little while. We have missed you. I have missed you probably more than anybody here has missed you, just because you guys are my peeps, and I love you a lot.
She does.
There's a lot of love up in this stream right now.
You guys, I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, HR's coming, so let's
They're too late.
back to business. Introductions, here we are. We have some wonderful things that we're going to be talking to you about today. You've probably seen some stuff creep out, I don't know, like Arcterra, which Morgan's going to go ahead and probably give us a little run through. But first, we also have some giveaways. We have 4 giveaways this time, and the giveaway is for the Triton costume set.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Freaking awesome.
I blew some Endcoin on that last week.
You could have just put in the code word, and we might have won. You might have won.
I literally couldn't wait until the stream.
Wow. I mean,
but it's literally, my opinion, one of the best costumes that we've ever
It is
released,
probably
absolutely.
the best. And, of course, I've seen it in purple. The devs have it. They're playing with it right now. So I've seen it in purple and red and all sorts of crazy cool colors.
Yeah.
But there it is right there on the screen. You can see it. We're also going to give away the Triton weapon set. Yep.
Which I also bought, by the way.
I'm
just saying.
We have people who can just, put that on your account if you want. I'm just saying.
I'm down.
I mean, we do have accounts made for that already have them on there.
I'm down for spending my own cash.
I'm okay with that.
So you pass the savings on to you.
Right, exactly.
And us, really, because that's kind of how we get paid. So Pappy is funding our whole project. Yep. It's great. So anyway, we have two of each of these. So random times during the live stream, we're going to go ahead. We're going to call out that we are doing this, give you a reminder that the code word typed into the Twitch channel, you must be following WildStar #1. Must. You should be anyway, because it's WildStar live stream. But we want you to go ahead and type Triton, all caps, Triton. Triton, all caps. Only do it once, because if you do it again, it auto disqualifies you because it's a machine and it's kind of like that.
Malicious AI.
I know, which is why I give you reminders throughout the show that if you're just joining us, please put Triton in chat once. That's it. All caps, all one word. Enjoy. And then you might win a costume set or a weapon set.
Or both.
Or yes, you can win both. It's we're not going to be jerks and be like, no, you cannot. So anyway, moving ahead. Pappy has some stuff to share with us, and we're gonna let Pappy talk.
So I have a ton of things to share. Obviously, we just had a big announcement, Arcterra, Destination Arcterra, our latest content update that will be coming to PTR very soon. It is chock full of awesome stuff. Arcterra itself, obviously, is a big max level zone. It's beautiful just from an art standpoint. So, we've been talking a lot with you guys about improvements that we've made to our lighting and our textures. Arcterra is a great example of some of the things that we've now been able to do with that. So as Morgan is going to be playing through here, we're actually going to have Gary on the stream as well, who's going to talk through some of the lore about Arcterra. But in my opinion, really one of the most awesome overall zones, where you basically have a great combination of both art, design, and story all kind of intermeshed into one great experience. It is just overall one of the best things that we've ever made.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not going to show it today, but it's something that's really exciting for me. Obviously, the next chapter of the Nexus saga is coming out. It's called Vault of the Archon. Gary's going to talk a little bit about this here in a few minutes, but it is basically the reason you're coming to Arcterra is because you found out that the caretaker was looking for the Vault of the Archon. This happened at the end of Omnicore 1. And so this leads you to Arcterra. and eventually you will come across the Vault of the Archon. That is an awesome piece of content as well. It is now multiplayer, so now you can go into the Nexus Saga with your friends, play through it together, or you can still play solo if you want. Anyway, it's really, really exciting, and we've sent out some screenshots about that. We'll be getting some more information about that as well. WildStar China is coming soon. We just went to closed beta. Really, really excited about how that's going on over there. Great feedback from our Chinese players, and that will be going live in China later on this year. We just announced Steam for WildStar will be coming on pretty soon. There was a lot of buzz about this, obviously. We're super excited about the fact that we can bring WildStar in all of its glory to the Steam community. And what's really cool about that is it should be happening right about the same time as Arcterra and Vault of the Archon are going live as well. So I think there's just going to be a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement. New players coming in, old players coming back to experience this new content. Overall, I think Destination Arcterra and the things that are coming in that time frame is going to be a really, really great time for WildStar.
Absolutely. One clarifying thing, though, is like a common misconception is that Steam is launching with this huge Arcterra content. Is that there's basically they're all kind of coming within the same time frame, but one isn't necessarily coming with the other.
Well, we haven't specifically said when those two things are going to happen. It's not. They actually could be happening right about the same exact time. But we are going to be talking in more detail about the dates associated with all of those things really soon. I'd say within the next few weeks, there should be some pretty clear ideas about when everything is going to be released, especially when Arcterra will be up on PTR. That is news that we will probably be sharing literally within the next week or so. So stay tuned for that information. Last but not least, we are actually going to be releasing an early version of Red Moon Terror, which is our next major raid for WildStar. That is also going to be available on the PTR. We want to get our high-level guilds in there, have them play through the encounters, give us some feedback on how it feels, so that when we do go live with Red Moon Terror a little bit later on this year, that it will be ready to go. And so, I mean, you know, maybe you're not getting this from what I'm saying, but Destination Arcterra and everything that we're about to do is just awesome.
It's badass.
It's pretty badass.
Pretty badass.
So
you know what's crazy though is besides like there's all of this stuff coming out that we've announced. There's so much other cool stuff.
Oh my gosh, no!
We're not gonna go into it, but like
there really is.
It's really exciting.
Well, we actually have some live events that are coming up as well. Maybe,
definitely some live events. So basically, we have coming up next week Dungeon Chase. And you're going to hear about more of that on the site as we release content to kind of update you with that. And basically the goal of that is you go ahead and you get these, these small, like you have to run dungeons.
It's an event that funnels people into the dungeon content. And if you're into dungeons already, then you're going to have yourself a wealth of new people to play with. And if you haven't tried them before, you're encouraged to try it. Maybe you like it, maybe you won't. But regardless, you'll be rewarded with a currency that you can spend on things that get you a mount, a pet, housing stuff, songs, skyboxes.
All of it. All of it.
The
all
glory.
of the cool things.
There may or may not be some taurine-related things associated.
There may or may not be. So
I am a big fan of the taurine.
So there may be some
They're
things.
finally getting their day.
Anyway, I just wanted you guys to know.
So you'll be getting all of this. You have access to all of this stuff through Big Game Bucks. So you'll hear more about that. We will detail everything in a fully fleshed out, beautiful news post. That Michael Whipple penned himself. We also, along with Dungeon Chase, we have a dev play event. Yay!
Oh, that is also true.
Morgan has been working lots of OT to get us all of the information with a little bit of help of some other devs.
So much other help.
so that we can go ahead and do a dev play. This is something that we've never done before, and we're super excited. It's basically getting devs in dungeons with you and helping you to run through dungeons.
Or weighing you down pathetically.
Which could happen, in my case, could very well happen.
But think of the stories you can tell your
Yes,
friends about how you
exactly.
carried 4 carbine devs
through a dungeon and like helped us.
That's what life's about.
But
Excel.
I do say I basically just leveled up my latest Dominion alt all the way to 50. And that character, actually, I played a lot of the new dungeons, or I'm sorry, I should say sort of the adjusted dungeons that we did with the free-to-play transition. They are super fun. You can get together with a pickup group, be successful. So what's going to be great about this event is just that we're going to get players and devs together, get through there, enjoy this content. I think if you've never actually gone in and experienced a WildStar dungeon, this is a perfect time for you to go and check it out. They are epic experiences, lots of fun, great boss encounters. So, again, if you've never tried it, jump in there and try it.
Especially if you haven't tried it with a dev,
Yeah.
because that's why we're doing it, because we want to try things with you. We love you. So, moving on, we have Gary Asford here to talk to us about lore and stuff. We're going to go ahead and, before we take a momentary pause as we kick Pappy out and pull Gary in, we're going to remind you that there is currently a giveaway going on through the Twitch live stream. Make sure that you like us. You have to like us. You have to like the WildStar live stream because it's mandatory, and I said so. So you also have to type Triton into the chat if you haven't done it already. If you haven't done it already, go ahead, all one word, Triton. You could win the Triton weapon set or the Triton costume set, and we have 2 of each to give away. So 4 lucky winners, or 3 lucky winners if you win something twice, or 2 lucky. Anyway, the odds are endless that you might win it. So go ahead and do that for us so we can give something to you because we love you.
Before I head out, I want to thank all of you engaged community people out there who have been following us, playing WildStar. There's been a lot of activity on our forums, on Reddit, on Twitter about the new update, people asking questions. We are going to be answering all of those questions as we get closer and closer to the release. But as you guys have comments about what you see or the things that you're about to experience, please get on the forums, get on Reddit, ask questions, and the devs will be up there answering them as much as we can. So again, thank you all for continuing to support the game, and let's show them some cool stuff here in Arcterra.
You got it.
All right.
Peace out, Pappy.
All right.
Zoom, here we are. Ta-da-da! A wild Gary appears.
Yeah. Chad suddenly looks much better.
So Gary Asselford is our senior story designer. He is here to talk to us about Arcterra and all of the fun things that we can expect with the lore behind it. Because this is an epic adventure that we can't wait to get into, and we can't wait for you to get into. So let's start. So give us a little bit about Arcterra. I mean, what is the point of it? And what things should we be paying attention to the most?
Well, Arcterra,
Besides all of it.
we all found out in Omnicore 1 at the end that there's this place called the Vault of the Archon. And the caretaker had no idea that this place existed. For some reason, it wasn't in his memory banks. It was in none of his data files. So, being the curious artificial intelligence that he is, I'm sorry, you're over there.
See, it's so casual here.
Live.
We gotta troll you big
I'm gonna
time.
blush.
Don't wait, gonna.
I'm always this way.
So
It's the Irish in me.
We'll get Vault
All
of
right.
the Archon.
Vault of the Archon. So the caretaker went looking for the Vault of the Archon. He sent probes out, which you might have seen some feed views from in the past few weeks.
Yep.
And these probes discovered that there is a continent previously undiscovered and unexplored in the northern part of of Nexus, and it is called Arcterra. The caretaker explored it, and he found a tower. It's called Shiver Skull Tower, and in order to explore Arcterra and uncover these mysteries, he contacted both the Exiles and the Dominion to come up and help him out. Arcterra is a land of mystery. It's very cold. You can
No.
see. No. Look, it's cold.
No,
nice.
really?
But it's even more cold than you might think of White Veil as being cold. This is Arcterra. It's deathly cold.
So it's colder than White Veil?
Oh, much colder than White Veil.
I shivered through White Veil. Like in real life, I shivered. It made me cold every time I played it.
So what you're saying is it's cold.
It's pretty damn cold.
It's freezing.
Okay.
Okay, good to know. Noted. So what are we looking at here?
We're looking at the interior of Shiver Skull Tower right here. There's this. If you look at the lower skull in the middle, that is what is called the Thought Forge, which is kind of an Osen computer. The Osen are technologically primitive, but to them, they forge weapons, they make very useful objects, and computer is just kind of a sissy word to them. So the Thought Forge is what they use.
I'm going to call that, my computer is now the Thought Forge from now on. Yes.
Seriously.
Okay, what are we looking at now? Okay, but the Shiver Skull Tower, right? That is a convergence point for Dominion and Exile, right?
Yeah, that acts as a central hub for the players
Yeah.
in the zone. The caretaker's there. You're going to run into Artemis Zinn. You're going to run into Deadeye. You're going to run into Dorian Walker there. I believe Bell even makes an appearance.
What?
This is one of our many underground, or rather subterranean, icy cave areas. You can see little bits of tech in there as well.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm going to have fun in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exploring this place, there's lots of nooks and crannies where you can get lost. And there are also lots of very interesting things you can do. This actually, it's in Arcterra, but this is from the Vault of the Archon. This is a little bit of a sneak peek for you. So
And I think
you,
we're
you
gonna-
saw it here
yeah.
first.
And we're going to sneak peek at, like, some of it in action, right?
Not Vault of the Archon.
No.
No.
Morgan. Okay, fine. I wanted it, but, I guess nobody else did.
You got to work
So-
for it.
So, what else are, okay, so let's get both of you together now.
Yeah.
And Morgan will move around, and then you can kind of tell us,
together
like, the...
Hey, that was weak.
That's just...
Sorry, here.
Ah!
That's better.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
feel that later.
Okay, this bro
So here's
must
me.
stop.
I'm in Arcterra. You can see I've got ridiculous forearms, and I'm probably underdressed for this environment.
Apparently, it's frigid cold.
Probably also don't want to ding up this ride though, so let me just change clothes.
So this
here.
is what, Gary? Where Morgan is, this is the central hub. This is
Something from
Shiver Skull Tower.
Arcterra.
Yes.
Cool.
And Morgan's arms are really like that in real life.
They really
It's
are.
true, it's,
Actually, yeah, it's really ridiculous.
So now I'm
to
looking
see,
kind of Teddy Roosevelt tough in my new Arcterra gear. This is medic specific, but everybody's got something coming. And oh, look at this new UI element where I can just bring up my collectibles.
Zoinks.
Let me get something out for a little snowy ride.
Ooh.
But I'm going to flare it up first, so let's do that. These are all pieces you can get here. And that's great because, you know, driving a DeLorean, or sorry, a DeLorean around, in the snow.
That's it. We're cutting you
No
off.
bueno.
No more.
Sorry. Yeah, cut off my coffee supply, please.
Yes, exactly.
That's a real vicious ride you got
That's
there.
a really slow ride you got there.
It's
just so heavy.
it's so heavy, indeed.
It's very heavy.
All right, so like he was talking about, both of the factions are here, and they're begrudgingly working together on some aspects of
Yes.
Of
So what is-
discovery
Exploration.
and exploration of
yes,
Arcterra.
but no more than that, really, right?
Well, they're not friends.
Exactly.
You know,
But what are they moving towards? What's the? I mean, without spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, we probably
Can
can't.
you say what the goal? What is?
well, the ultimate
What's
goal
the apex?
stems from Omnicore 1,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the Vault of the Archon. Arcterra is a very big place, and it's very hard to explore, mostly because of the climate and the terrain. So the players and the factions are helping the caretaker locate the Vault of the Archon.
Got it.
So at the culmination of everything you do in this zone, you very well may discover the Vault of the Archon.
But here's
And
the thing.
there's even more adventure to have there.
Right, and while all this is happening, you basically have Arcterra itself throwing things at you at every turn.
Yeah, Arcterra is filled with action.
Yes, and that's where this map comes in. So right now, this three-dimensional map, you know, it shows Arcterra. There's not a whole lot on it because it's tied to an event that just sits on the zone that's always active. The zone is populated with two-man bosses. You can see them here, here, pretty much everywhere. And the more you kill them, the more this bar over here moves towards the 5-man boss icon. And
Look
then
at that.
if you keep going towards the 20-man icon, why that's important though is because this timer here that's currently not counting anything will be counting down as soon as the first monster falls, and once the countdown expires, wherever this bar is, if it's past the 5-man, it'll spawn in 5-man bosses in place of all those 2-man bosses. If it's at the 20-man, the same. There will be 20-man bosses that come out only under those conditions. So it's in everybody's best interest while they're doing whatever missions, challenges, quests that they're on to just be killing things as much as they can, because not only are you raising the challenge of encounters, but you're also dipping into loot pools that you can otherwise not reach. And there will be a certain amount of organization required, you know, as you get to those higher man encounters, but also keep in mind that the other factions out here, and they're trying to achieve their goals, right? And some of them might be in your benefit, and some of them are probably not,
So this would, does this kind of feed into maybe some potential open world PvP?
It does, in fact.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Interesting.
Let's see
Where
here.
are we? Where are we on in our zone
We're over
section?
here. Oh, wait.
Right.
Hold on. Look at this, though. See this guy here?
Oh.
The more you do in the zone, the more you kill, the further this bar progresses until you get to here.
And what happens there?
You get rewards exclusive to filling this progress bar,
Huh.
basically. So while you're getting rewards, rather, for killing things, doing events, doing quests, doing challenges, all these other things, you're still getting this thing layered on top of all that. So you basically can't lose. Whatever you're doing, you're progressing towards things. Very separate loot tables that have awesome things in each and every one.
And what kind of rewards? Can you show us a little bit of them? Or
Well, this
it
is one
just
of
like-
them.
Yep, there you go.
This guy with all of his
Do-do-do-do.
pieces. I also have things like this. Little Myrmidon.
Oh,
He's a good one. And look at him, look.
oh, you run, you're so cute. I just want to whoosh him.
You know, and there's gear, there's costumes, there's housing. There's another mount, there's other pets. Some things are purchasable when you achieve a certain level of reputation. Some things are only drops. Many things are actually only drops. looking over the list of rewards for this zone was absurd. Like, yeah.
We need a whole second live stream for that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I had to be extremely careful about what I put onto my character to show you guys.
Yes.
Lest I blow any big surprises.
Yeah,
or,
let's not do that,
yeah.
please, because then
It's
I'm the one that
pretty
gets in
rad,
trouble.
though. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to this event real quick, since this is pretty important. Whenever you click this thing, it tells you where the nearest objective is, as you would expect, and it becomes increasingly helpful since this zone is enormous.
Is there anything, Gary, that you can tell us about this particular zone?
This particular zone or this part? This is the osseous
portion.
We're currently in the osseous plains. The osseous plains, you'll see bones sticking out of the
Yeah,
ice.
we noticed that.
And
Large creatures.
Yeah, and we're not really sure where, well, nobody's really sure yet where these things came from. I mean, the narrative team is, obviously, because we know everything. But these bones, they're a mystery. They're huge. And there may be future content that takes us to where these bones, well, or rather the creatures
Who
produced these bones came from. So
Okay,
we'll
that's-
be on the lookout for that in,
The next
the
year?
not so distant future.
The next year or so?
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sooner is my request rather than later.
I
Just
know.
saying.
I would love to show some of this stuff
I
off
know.
right now.
I know.
Also, during this event, you are collecting what is called Soul Frost.
Ooh.
Okay. One thing about Arcterra is that it's a very spiritual place, but it's kind of dark side of spiritual.
Ooh, the dark side. Oh, sorry.
So
Wrong.
Side of
Sorry, wrong
spiritual.
IP. Wrong IP.
in WildStar, we have every creature has what's called a primal pattern. Everybody knows this. It's kind of like your DNA. When you die, your primal pattern leaves an echo, which is called a primal echo. It's, to all intents and purposes, it's kind of like a ghost. It's a recording of who you were up to the point of your death. Now in Arcterra, pretty much everything here, when it dies, this is such a dark and nasty place,
Yeah.
leaves behind a primal echo. Now, primal echoes can be distilled down into what is called soul frost. Soul frost is a material crafted from the very souls of creatures, and it is used to power certain machines that the Osin that were here used.
And you'll note that while Gary is telling us about Soul Frost, Morgan's actually earning it. So that's the Soul Frost collection. And
Earning it in the loosest sense. I'm cheat killing all these guys because I don't want to spoil the encounters.
Yeah, but
What?
yeah. Okay.
Oh, well.
Okay,
yeah.
we're making that happen, but I mean, you are collecting it. So the players, essentially,
Sure.
you would be just like killing some more, and filling up that meter.
By the way, because I cleared the 2-man bosses in these certain areas, let me move this over here. You'll see some 5-man icons coming
Oh, I
into
see
place
it,
where
yeah.
where those 2-man bosses were. Anyway, continue. I just wanted to point out the.
So as this, you have now, Morgan. Tell us a little bit about the countdown. Is it that's to till you get to 20 or till you can fill up your bar?
So every time the countdown expires, wherever the bar is, that's what respawns. Whether it's
Okay.
2-man, 5-man, or 20-man.
Okay.
However, the bar will also regress.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're working towards 20, you've got to keep, like, I'm doing this making this look really, really easy. It's ridiculous. It's not all accurate.
He's cheating.
So you're going to continuously crawl out there and get organized,
For science.
have teamwork, all of those great positive things to achieve your goal.
Absolutely.
And just making sure that you're playing against that
Yeah.
clock in that way.
And that is the goal of this content that's coming up, is to get more group content out there, get players playing with each other, get that community building online, so that way all of you can work towards this goal, and the ultimate goal, which is helping
To
To-
get to
Vault of the Archon.
yes.
So we do have a question in chat, and they're wondering if you could give them a side view of the mount that you're on.
Oh. Some of this. Want some
There
shots?
you go.
Is
There
that-
you go.
Yeah.
They said it was for reasons, so.
Oh, for reasons. So it's one of probably our fan
I thought that
sites
was
or bloggers,
important,
and they want to
so.
go ahead.
Look at this guy. No one sits there.
We do have a question from Jay Brad, who wants to know what item level do the mobs in Arcterra drop?
Oh man. I cannot get into the itemization part of this simply because it is above and beyond what we've done in the past. The itemization team, they really worked on this one to make sure that everything was rewarding to people with different preferences and tastes across the board. And I really don't want to stick my foot in my mouth.
Yeah.
But as I recall, there's some input about that.
Yeah.
Coming out. Not input, output?
There,
Info.
in there's,
One of the words.
there's output, also known as info, coming up soon enough. Also, as we move forward, Chad and I are working together to go ahead and make sure that we have AMAs with Reddit and get devs in there to start answering a lot of these questions that we know you're going to have, especially after seeing this in action, especially after we've released all of this information on Arcterra and moving forward.
That's my right
and
here. That's not
probably
Arcterra.
Morgan will have an AMA and Gary will have an AMA, and we're just all going to get together and have an AMA powwow.
Right.
Lots of AMAs in our future. So
And that's also why I had the gear on as a costume. Like you'll see, I have raid gear.
yes,
Because I was not to say those things and show you those numbers for that reason.
okay.
So
We're gonna get pulled aside when we get out of here. There's bosses outside waiting for us. The directors are like, "Brr."
This may be the last live stream the three of us ever appear on.
Together. They're gonna separate us from now on.
But check this out. Going back to the game, there's this. We don't have roads in Arcterra. We have this thing. It's the crystallized river. It functions like a road in that it
It
travels everywhere. It connects different points of interest. And since this zone is kind of, would you say it's magical in nature?
Oh, it's definitely magical in nature.
Okay, we say magic.
On the well, hey, anything that goes beyond the understanding of
Yes. Of human
or
understanding.
Draken understanding or Chua understanding is magic.
Yes.
Fair.
But we all know nothing goes beyond Chua understanding.
True. So they can tell you why the run speed is increased by 20% or your mounted speed is increased by 40% while you're traveling on the crystallized river. So it just helps us get to all the different points of interest, get to all the encounters, the events, everything that's going on faster.
It means you'll never be
Yeah.
late to a boss fight.
Nope. And like Morgan was late, so everything kicked back down to 2, as
Yeah,
you saw.
I've been
because he
just
was
not
too
doing a
busy,
great job.
being a chatty Cathy about things, which is fine. That's what we're here for, right? So chatty Cathy away. Have fun. What
I
are
will.
we looking at?
So now we're in the ruins of Milug. Is Milug?
Maloo.
Milug. Yeah. Milug. All right. So the ruins of Milug. This is one of my favorite parts of the zone, right? So this blizzard comes through Arcterra periodically. We'll get to that in a second. But while it is up, bosses that are exclusive to that blizzard appear, right? And both factions have to kill those bosses. There's 5. You have to kill each one once and collect from them a fragment of a key.
A blade key.
A blade key that grants you access into an escalating multi-phase public event that's driven by combat.
In scientific terms.
What are we shortening that down to?
We're not.
We're gonna leave it like that.
Some have called it a dungeon, but they would be incorrect.
No, that is. Let's clarify that. because
No, I've done it. Okay, clarify it. I want to drink water.
Okay, so there was a word, and it was dungeon.
It was a
It
bad
is
word.
not dungeon in the formal MMO sense of the word. It was more of a place where people gather to kill things that just happens to look like it's like dungeon-like.
By the way, you can often see the tower wherever you are in the zone, as long as you're not occluded by statues and other ice formations. So that's pretty cool. I like
Oh, there
seeing
it is.
silhouette,
The-
yeah.
What that is
That is
right
the
in the
tower.
center.
Shiver
That's
Skull
Shiver Skull
Tower.
Tower,
Yep.
and it's right in the center of Arcterra.
Right. So you get kind of a frame of reference for where you are positioned geographically. You'll notice also the skies change color depending on where you are too. So before when we were at the Shiver Skull Tower, the sky was kind of like a teal. Now it's purple, sometimes it's green, depending on where you are. It's a nice change up.
And that
Going
landscape
back to
looks
how gorgeous
vaguely
this-
vicious.
Yeah, I probably would not fall on either one of these points.
You'd probably be too tiny to fall exactly on it, unless you were like
You'd be surprised
ocean
what I
or
can fall
something,
on.
And then if you fall on it, it's like a sliver in your foot.
Sure.
Okay, so,
So
we're
going back to the blizzard.
here.
So back to the blizzard
The
and
blizzard
these
comes
5
in.
bosses.
And these 5 bosses appear, right?
And these 5 bosses are all members of an elite force. They're related. We have a big lore story behind these guys. And
Can you tell us a little bit, or
One
do you
is
not want to
face,
spoil
the
this?
face.
well, let's just say
The Abrax.
they are called the Coven Guard, and they were left behind to protect something and somebody.
And now they're BFFs, and they go out drinking nightly, and they have fun making your lives a living hell.
Yeah, and each one of these guys has their own unique personality, unique backstory. I mean, they're Osin, and normally you just kill Osin by the truckload. But these guys are really special. Beyond the fact that they're 5-man bosses, they are also individuals with incredibly cool mechanics.
Cool.
Yeah, they are custom fights. Our combat team customized so many fights in this zone.
Now, I know our lore peeps are really going to want to know if these guys are going to have a really extensive backstory, or are these guys that we're going to learn about? How important are they?
Oh, I should hope so. You
Okay,
got to do a little
okay.
bit of digging.
All right.
Yeah, we're not gonna show all our cards.
Oh no.
Essentially. But going back to the purpose
I'm
of this
trying,
forge,
guys. I'm really trying here. But they're hard-nosed.
so whenever you kill, whenever a faction, because this is where some faction v faction action comes in, when you collect that key fragment, it appears at the forge. So you can always see what progress your faction or the other faction has, and why this is relevant. Besides seeing how you're doing, you can find ways to sabotage the other faction. If you know what pieces they need, you can go kill that boss before they can, which is great for my fun purposes. But anyway, the
Did
kill
you
is.
see that like wickedness with his fingers and stuff? He's like,
Yes, I do like some open world.
He
PvP.
likes to pretend he's sadistic, but he's really a Care Bear.
yeah. Oh yeah, he is.
Guys,
Oh. Sorry.
cultivating this persona for minutes.
Oh.
And the faction that gets all 5 of the pieces gets access to, it's called Bor Milug.
Bormaloo.
Which is beneath Shiver Skull Tower.
Cinnamon.
And that's literal translation, beneath Shiver Skull Tower.
Cool.
No. It translates to something I'm not allowed to say online.
And then when the
It's
faction
not dirty.
gets the 5 key fragments and they have access, the whole key progression resets and you get another run at it. And so keep your eye out for where this is and for blizzards. Speaking of blizzards.
Yes.
I did have a question before you move
Oh,
on to blizzards.
question.
I don't know if you guys are going to be able to answer this question right now, but Nix1989 was wondering, with regards to the faction lock for the new event/dungeon, or whatever we are calling that,
not a
how are
dungeon.
you going to balance it for low populations?
We really can't force a balance on it. Like the faction that achieves those goals is the faction that achieves those goals. Right now,
I guess
the
they're-
system is not biased towards one faction or the other, and which is good for keeping the system simple, but also accounts for future population fluctuations.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
good.
that's
Yeah,
just
I think
something
their
you
main
can't account
concern.
for.
I think their main concern was that if like Dominion
Oh.
on one side or Exile on the other is more
If
prominent.
there's going to be an advantage
That is-
based
that-
on numbers.
And that is for sure a thing. Like Orin
Yeah.
are super popular. It escapes me why they're atrocious, but they
Hey,
are.
hey.
They don't even bathe.
I'm just loyal
Just
to
saying.
Churro. So
Just saying.
Orin are delicious.
that's a fair point. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
there's no
gamey.
systemized way to govern that, and nor would we want to,
Yeah.
because I think players are very clever and tenacious, and they will find the ways to run the other faction off the road, so
Yeah.
to speak.
So basically, translation: tell your friends to get in game and go for the faction that you want them to go for. You know, and let them go for that. I can tell you, most of us in-house played Dominion. That seems to be what Carbine likes to play, and we do
They have
it.
better uniforms.
And they have Chua. That's, at the end of the day, it's the Chua master race.
Don't speak on behalf of all of us.
Okay, I won't.
So before I call down this
I'm being
blizzard,
admonished. Sorry.
let's take one more look at the sky, because once this blizzard rolls in, it obfuscates your line of sight pretty
Aurora
well.
Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
It's for science.
Bormilegius. It is pretty. The blizzard's pretty too, but it just changes everything very drastically.
And it's important to note that this zone was designed so that there are many different locations, and just because it's a frozen wasteland, it doesn't mean they're all, they don't all look the same. They're all different. There's a very personal aspect to each part of this zone. So it's not like you're going to be in whatever you might call this here. You know,
Yeah,
rocky,
it's going to be
barren
different everywhere.
with ruins. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be. There's a
You're
lot of.
gonna
There's a
be-
lot of variation.
Yeah,
You'll be
we'll
visually
showing more
entertained.
of that as we go.
Yeah.
We're going to go to more locations. I just wanted to show off the blizzard specifically. This blizzard occurs every 2.5 to 3 hours, all the time. It lasts for 30 minutes, so your time frame for getting bosses is pretty big, and for thwarting the other faction. And whenever the blizzard comes alive, you'll see these guys regardless. But when it comes, these guys come to life, like Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton. Wow. Okay, so this guy is Rash.
He's a musician.
He's a musician. Who, Peter Frampton or Rash?
Both.
Oh, okay.
So you can see now the sky is different because
yeah.
blizzard.
And the caretaker's letting you know.
Oh, and
Oh
then
boy,
this guy
and
is
then
here.
you're gonna be dead.
Am I?
No.
Because we have an understanding,
Yeah.
as you can see.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
Also, I'm gonna
Had a boss
Ouch.
and couldn't, whatever, done.
But fortunately, I'm just gonna do this thing.
Oh, that was Rogan the Rash.
It was, and
He's very petulant. he doesn't think before he acts.
who, me or Rogan?
Both of you.
Yes.
So
Well,
the-
Rogan
That's
is
a fair
modeled
point.
after downtown.
there's
so.
a question in chat asking
Question.
if the content is going to be primarily solo or if there's going to be group content. Basically, what are the party member access for each
That's a
of
great
these content
question
pieces?
because we've been talking a lot about the group aspect, right? Forming teams, getting up against these escalating bosses and what have you. But there's a solo episode. Most of these encounters, there's a lot of encounters. Most of them are soloable, and a lot of them are soloable but scale up. There's public events. There's events happening
Yeah,
everywhere in the
events
zone.
happen all the time.
And they scale up, so you can take them on your own. But if you got a buddy or some stranger comes into play, it's going to adjust accordingly.
This might be a moment of that you want to not listen to mom and dad and actually talk to a stranger, because sometimes strangers are kind and nice and do nice things with you, like group up to kill things.
Oh,
And
We do not condone stranger
yeah, I'm not going to
interactions.
condone stranger danger.
stranger danger, no.
I do not condone stranger
no,
danger.
it's not allowed.
And this is one such event, right?
Yes, this appears to be the pillar of Kelhevik.
Give us a little background.
Yeah, talk about what
We have
the good
Artemis
people.
and we have
You got Artemis and Dorian there.
and so we know something's going on. Like there's this little like headbang.
I
like,
don't,
meet up,
I
meet
don't
and
really
greet.
want to get into too many
Okay.
details.
Yeah, let's not cheat the people out
Listen,
of
I
discovery.
but I'm gonna try because I am for the people.
Ah, hey.
I'm for the people who want the discovery.
Oh, yeah.
Look at.
And
Sorry, I got a little.
as you can
excited.
see, we've got some Ocean witches here.
Mm-hmm.
They are bad news.
Yes.
And you'll also notice that these monsters, these creatures you're fighting, including the Ocean,
So yeah, I guess.
are translucent.
Ooh.
So maybe these guys are primal echoes.
Yep.
Maybe.
See, there's some dawn grazers in the mix.
Yeah, it
There's
said that they were restless.
Pumera, I see.
Ooh.
Yeah, I see a lot of stuff that I've been killing. Sorry, guys. You're now hanging out with the witch. You know what? I'm just gonna go now.
And of course, during this event, you've also got your faction friend, either Artemis or Dorian, sort
such
of
a chicken.
cheering you on.
Nope. I just don't want to ruin it for the people who have that experience of
Oh, you
stumbling
know what?
into
That's
the
true.
mix and
That's
then
true.
having
That's
that moment,
true.
you know.
I'm going to take, speaking of moments, I'm going to take one. I'm going to go ahead and remind everybody that we're currently doing a giveaway for those of you who have just joined us. Go ahead and follow the WildStar live stream. Type in all caps Triton in chat, Triton. You will have an opportunity to win one of four things. We have 2 costume sets to give away and 2 weapon sets to give away, all Triton. There they are right there. So go ahead, Triton in chat, all caps Triton. At the end of the show, we'll go ahead and call the winners, and Maggie will make contact.
Contact.
First
Making
contact.
Do you want to talk about the Ring of Scorn, or should I bring out the
I
tenant?
think you should talk a little bit about Ring of Scorn.
Let's do it at
Okay.
the same time on 3. Ready?
1, 2.
3, go.
Maddock the Craven, or rather, Maddock the Scorned, is an Ocean who he got on the bad side of his boss.
Oh,
And,
that's like, ooh.
But it's a little
Much
bit.
like us
Don't we
today.
all?
But in his case, it was because of love.
Aww.
See, Osen can love too, but they're not really encouraged to. In any case, after being imprisoned in the ice for hundreds, thousands of years, he's a little bit upset, and he's willing to take his anger out on just about anybody that bothers him.
I'm gonna bother him.
So now we've met Rogan, we've met Maddock, and who else are we gonna meet?
I don't know where he's going there.
Oh, okay.
It's a surprise even
How many
to
are
me.
there again? 5? Or
There are
4?
5, but this,
Yeah.
but Maddock is not one of the 5. He's not
No.
one of the Coven Guard.
Oh.
He's a 20 man, isn't he?
Oh man.
Yeah, he is definitely a 20-man, and the surroundings change based on where you are in the fight. So you see this chain, and you see these floating. What are we calling those?
Things.
Things.
They're things.
Things is
They
good.
look like
Floating
runes.
things.
They
But
look like
the colors
runes.
They're
change, the
obviously
conditions of them
obelisks.
change.
Yes, and they're.
See, I was gonna say, is it an obelisk? But because it's inverted, I don't know.
it's a
I'm not an
float-
architect.
Listen, it's a floating thing, okay? At
It's
the end of the
floating
day, to everyone, it's a floating thing.
Oh my
so you're
God.
gonna see these floating things.
Maddock, leave me alone.
Based
buddy.
upon where
I'm
you
trying to
are
pimp
in your chain of events.
Yes.
Your personal chain of events, right? Not the group chain of events.
What are you talking about? This chain?
No, no, no.
This is not called the chain of events.
No,
Uh,
no.
It's called the Ring of
just
Storm.
Okay, I'm not. Okay,
No, no.
Okay, thanks.
The condition of the fight. So where you are in
Yes.
the fight, that's when things change, and it can also change back because he can start getting ground on the group of 20.
Nice.
Yes, it's yeah.
I see that he's hurting you.
Yeah, not anymore though, because no one hurts
'Cause-
me if
Nope.
I don't let them. So let's just go.
Oh,
Let's just go take a look at some cool
So
stuff.
where are we here? What's going on
this
here?
this place has special significance for Morgan.
Yes, I made. Well, I didn't make these boats. They made these boats, but I wanted boats here. So they're boats here. But the thing about WildStar and Arcterra specifically is, we're looking around. We see rocks, we see mountains and stuff. But sometimes, rocks and mountains aren't just rocks and mountains. Sometimes there's something else entirely.
Whoa.
Do you see that?
Whoa, what is that?
I don't know.
It's
we'll
got
have
flippers,
to
whatever
play the
it's
game
in.
and find out.
And
But
it's probably got some big old
Are
bones.
those flippers?
Well, of course it has big bones. Look at it. It's huge.
But
What is that?
if you can see it
That's
on the outside,
crazy
can you see it on the
scary.
inside? I don't know.
I
Find
don't
out.
know. I don't know.
WildStar.
You guys might want to crawl around that thing.
Ugh.
Sometimes an island is not an island.
That's right. Sometimes you're the island.
This is why I don't leave my house. This is why I don't leave my house. Terrified. Terrified of things I cannot see.
And you can see that there's a exile boat here as well. There's research happening, exploration, things of that sort. Not going to blow up for you, but this is another instance of begrudgingly working side by side for a cause. I wouldn't necessarily call it a greater good, but greater self-interest.
I would say it's almost like a race for these two
Yeah.
factions.
Mm-hmm.
Who can get to the Vault of the Archon first? Who can figure out what that big island thingy was
Yeah.
first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what can they do to twist that to their faction's advantage?
Right.
Interesting. Oh, and the mysteries abound
That's
about
right.
what's going on.
Here's another mystery. Hold on. Wait for it.
Yeah, that is a
Boom.
damn.
What's this? That's some cool trees. And oh my God.
Oh, whoa.
What is it? Looks like some sort of thing. Hooked to another thing. Wouldn't you agree, Dee Dee?
I do. It's a thing, and see the thing over there? It's like hooked to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, and I'm sure there's going to be some things that happen.
There's some
here.
visual elements here that I think some of our, a lot of familiar players who are
players
familiar
Yeah.
with, certain nooks and crannies, because I like to say that, of WildStar, they'll recognize. And they don't have the answers, but,
But they will.
yes, they can put the story together faster.
So if
than
you
other
can't wait
people.
for this content to come out later on in the year, you will be able to get this content on the PTR, which will be happening soon. Trademark. And we want you to enjoy it. We want you to really dive into it. We want you to explore it. We want you to, do everything you can to test all of this content and give us feedback on it on the forums. The reason for that is before everything goes live, we put it in front of you to test, to break, to do whatever it is that you guys are great at doing, so that we can make changes along the way and make this excellent for when we push live. And coming in the next few weeks, we'll have more information on when we're going to have this on PTR. what we're going to do and what we're going to need you to do for us. I know that that's a big ask, but there's also a big thank you because you help us to provide an excellent experience for all of our players by testing our content on the PTR. How much more do you have to show? This is actually pretty cool.
I got
saw
one
this
thing
the
to
other
show.
day. This is awesome. So we should see this.
I got something else I can show. I can give you some numbers. There are some numbers I can give.
Okay, give us
Would
some
you
numbers.
like some?
Yes.
All right, some numbers.
I
right?
want a number, but like a few
So
numbers.
questions about dailies. There are every day 3 to 4 randomized dailies from a pool of 14.
Wow.
Okay, 7 episode quests, 1 weekly quest that is in the mix.
Yeah.
Right. 33 dynamic events constantly going in the zone. Like if you look at the map, look at all of this
Oh
stuff
my
that's always
goodness,
going
yeah.
on. And I mean, it's not this thing that's here is not always going to be there. Like whatever happens in that space, it can be one of several things. Presumably, I would say not out of a pool of 33. Some
Mm-hmm.
are more tailored for certain environments than others. But a lot of variety, a lot of ways to get the rewards that you want. Examples of these dynamic events. One of them is called Snow Crushed Caravan, where there's some lop. They're under some snow and you want to rescue them.
Everybody loves lop.
Everyone loves the lop.
So
we
why would
gave
you not
some
want
lop.
to rescue them?
That's right.
I don't want to rescue them.
A lot of boss fights, a
I'll
lot
be
of
skipping
customized
that.
boss fights. I know we say customized, but like pretty much all our fights really are. But like we did so many play tests of these things, like it's crazy. And then one of these events I was talking about is this guy here. It's called Moth Fiends of the Megadroid. People like the Megadroid. We brought the Megadroid, or a Megadroid, because there's presumably more than one, back around. And also, you'll see this is an interior. Lots of interiors. I don't have numbers for those, but there are many, not just the ones that we've talked about today. And this is reminiscent of a certain announcement trailer where you get a little curious.
Oh boy.
Things happen. Looks like a holdout, but it is scalable for up to, I believe, 10 people.
Nice.
And it gets pretty overwhelming. Even, like you'll see this just start cascading on me as one person. And they just keep coming.
So
But enough about that.
basically, you can never get bored with Arcterra.
That's the idea.
Yeah. So that's actually a really great idea because that is something that we never want you to be bored
Yep.
with the content. And so this is our effort to go ahead and bring you something that's new, that's fresh, that's constantly evolving and changing as you evolve and change as a player. And definitely boredom that shouldn't be in our vocabulary ever. And we don't want you to be bored. So
Yep.
there.
Also, more numbers. There's a looping public event that is directly tied to the lore of Vault of the Archon.
Mm-hmm.
So the Venn diagram of Vault of the Archon and Arcterra story is pretty much a circle.
That does not look like a circle.
Yeah.
And for all you guys who love lore and who love to discover new things and learn new things on Nexus, this zone is a candy store. There's lore
Yep.
everywhere.
Yeah, you saw all of the lore journals, like journals everywhere. Like
There are collectibles
Yep.
everywhere.
Yep.
Yep.
So-
there's new path content. Sorry.
Oh, new path.
New path content, new challenges.
Yes.
There's 4 new contracts aimed specifically at Arcterra content, and the Arcterra content that's relevant to other existing contracts is part of those contracts, as you would expect. 43 named mobs, solo mobs. 3 of them are scaling, 6 are rare. There's 22 mans. There's 19 5-mans.
Take a breath.
It's 20 two-man bosses, not 22
22-man bosses.
Yeah.
We fine-tuned to get the extra 2 people in there. The 5 20-mans, the 2 10-mans, there's a world boss. And these are just the numbers I can tell you about.
He's so excited he's hitting tables.
So
Yeah.
you guys answered a lot of the questions that were being asked. I was waiting for
Let's
it.
go.
Good.
But Multi-Blade Games is wondering, will we be getting any more information about Drusera in this expansion?
That would be telling.
Well, let's just say that Vault of the Archon does give you some more information about Drusera. But to get there, you'll need to pass through Arcterra.
That was my wicked laugh. It wasn't very good,
No.
but I tried.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so let's wrapping the show up.
Oh wait, is there more questions? Sorry.
Oh yeah. Well.
Yeah, she said there was questions.
Oh, is there a ton? Let's do some questions.
Yes.
If there's some questions, let's see what we can do. Keeping in mind that we will be having AMAs in the not too distant future, where you can go ahead and have access to the devs and ask all the questions that you need to ask. In addition to that, we three hang out on the forums constantly. You can go ahead and pose your questions in the forums as well, where we'll get devs in there to go ahead and answer if we can. Not all things can be answered, but you can certainly ask.
So most of the questions you guys answered for the most part, other than like questions that were not Arcterra. But people were also wondering, do you have any plans to help encourage people to take part in lower level dungeons? And that's kind of what they asked.
Well,
which isn't really necessarily part of Arcterra. But
it's not really part of Arcterra, but we talked about Dungeon Chase earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it, certainly, because a lot of people are hesitant to get into dungeons and other kind of boutique content experiences, and really they needn't be so hesitant.
Right.
You know, MMOs have been around for a while, and raids, dungeons, and things like that get bigger and bigger, more complex, and it's perceived as just a higher barrier of entry across the board. And while the stakes are certainly raised for the people who are really into those things, the people who are just intrigued or curious are still definitely welcome. So,
and we did, you know, with our Proto Games initiative and the Proto Games Academy, we did reach out to those players who might find raiding and group content daunting.
Right.
So we've done other things in our game to, you know, not all of the things that we would like to do on the board of on the wall of want have been done, but we are working towards again even streamlining that further and making sure that everybody gets access and they're not intimidated by what we have in front of them.
Right, and that's why we have normal mode and veteran mode, right?
Yep.
Normal mode is, well, like everybody get into the pool. It's a West Coast gangster pool party. Let's do it. And veterans is
Which,
for the
by
people
the way,
who are
those are
just
really,
like, you know
everybody
what?
drinks a margarita. They're not that, it's not West Coast gangsters or...
You go to some lame ass West Coast
seriously,
gangster
they
pool
like
parties.
totally, like Zima, that's like what they drink at those parties.
That dates those parties
And
pretty hard.
I'll just have to add that Soul Frost really goes
Thank you,
well
Gary.
inside a margarita,
Oh,
as
you're
well as
right.
smoothies for those of you who don't partake.
Nice segue, and then right back in.
And
Yes.
now we're gonna not talk about alcohol anymore. No.
Oh,
Okay.
those
Baku-
are.
Margarita pizza.
It's virgin margaritas, right?
Let's do another question. Do we have
Baku
time?
Fanatic is wondering, will Arcterra have special open world PvP incentives, particularly for the Blizzard event?
All right. So besides the thing I told you about earlier with the 5-man bosses, there are some things that we are working on right now that are global, not specific to Arcterra, which is why we're not really talking about it right now, but global initiatives, global as in Nexus, not, although I guess it would be Earth as well, that pertain very specifically to world PvP and incentives. And that Venn diagram is also this shape. So we can't talk about it right now. I'm not trying to dodge your question. It's a thing.
We
We'll
may
talk
or
about
may
later.
not have another stream that is regarding that. So
Yes,
stay
we may or
tuned.
may not be having another stream.
And I guess for the last question, since we're a little over time,
Okay.
is Vashumi is asking, is Arcterra on its own a continent, or is it added to an existing continent?
It is on its own.
Yep.
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 Fully on its own thing, by itself, alone.
Which you can take from that. While we're all over Nexus, there's a lot more of Nexus yet to be discovered, or maybe it's been discovered but it's withheld from the general population of the Exiles / Dominion for all we know.
Correct.
Are you saying there's no transparency in the Empire?
I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that. And, you know, also, we've been in space. Space is the place to find more
Space is
things.
the place.
No,
So-
there's a lot.
Place.
There's a lot
Yeah.
in the pipe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot down, coming down the pipe with as far as stuff
Yeah.
that we can't get into currently.
We're not
but-
trying to be vague,
No,
except
no,
for the
no,
part
it's
where it's
gets
job
vague.
security and
Well, it's beyond that. It's things have to be designed. They have to be created.
well,
The ideas.
that is true.
need to
However,
be-
there are things that are already created or being created. Like, yeah, they're in the
Right.
when
No,
we
they're
say
in
in the pipe, like they exist, and I have played them recently.
Right.
So sorry, I just want to I didn't want people to think like, oh, they have to design
No,
it.
it's ready when it's ready.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's ready when it's ready.
All right, same team.
Yep. Let's go ahead and again call out one more call out to the giveaways that we have going on. We have 2 Triton costume sets. We have 2 Triton weapon sets. There you see them right there in bold yellow, gold, whatever. Yaza.
The Ichthyans
Yes.
have wonderful taste.
Yes, I mean you cannot miss that. You can't. It's impossible to miss it. I mean that person runs. You'd be like, whoa! Did you see that? Anyway, point being is we have 4 of these things to give
Sounds
away.
awesome.
So you need to, if you haven't already, please do not do it again if you already have. Type Triton into the Twitch chat channel, Triton, make sure it's all caps, and then Maggie will go ahead and push her button of plenty for the glorious winner to receive something. One of these things. And we're going to go ahead and call the winners out at the end of the show, but let's wrap up with you guys.
Wrap it up.
Do you have any last final things that you want to say? Don't give away the goods.
I want
know.
to tell you so many of the goods. Like Chad and I spoke about briefly, we're talking about a lot of stuff with Destination Arcterra, but there are so much more, and by so much more I don't mean like this year, I mean like hot on the heels. So please, if you're really excited now, try to control yourself lest it become a health hazard of being too excited because more stuff is coming. However, that said, we talked about a lot of stuff today, and there's still stuff part of this drop, sorry, we're not saying drop, Destination Arcterra, that we haven't even got to yet. So expect more information about this, too. So much information. I don't know, I guess that's what I want to say, is that there's just so much information.
There is. There's tons. There's tons to talk about, and more live streams to have, and more AMAs
And
to
it's
have.
so hard to
and
keep
we
these secrets.
love your questions, and absolutely. Any final words?
I'm very excited about Arcterra. Arcterra was took up a big chunk of my workday for a long time, and to finally see people play Arcterra and enjoy the content we've created here, that is that's going to be very fulfilling for me.
Aww.
It's true. Give that man a hug, please.
Gary. We love you.
I know.
So, okay, just a rundown of a few more things that I want to make sure that you guys know. In the coming weeks, more news will follow. We have lots of announcements to make, lots of addresses to have, lots of engagement to do with all of you. Many of the things that are coming down, and pay particular attention to, dungeon chases coming down. We're going to have another hoverboard, something fun.
Oh, we can say that. I was trying to
Nah, I'm
hint at it with
saying at it.
visuals. We're doing
So
hoverboards.
we are doing another hoverboard event. So we can't give more details than this, just the fact that it's going to happen. But all of these events, they're in-game events, will happen. The Dungeon Chase is going to happen next week. But the Dev Play event that goes along with the Dungeon Chase event, which we're super excited for, we really like to get in game and engage with all of you. That's going to be happening, and more information is coming today or tomorrow, actually next week.
Soon. Also, on the topic of chases, so I know we've been rolling out a lot of chases. These are not going to be the extent of our events. These are just events that we're throwing
Yes.
into the event pool. They're going to repeat periodically, and they're going to overlap with other events, like let's say Shades Eve, for
Yep.
example. I don't know if that's official, so don't quote me on that, but
No,
that's an example.
no quotes.
And then other things like maybe there's a hoverboard race that overlaps with a sim chase.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But these are not
No.
how it is across all of our
Right.
events.
And these are all designed to like keep you busy while we make these things with the Destination Arcterra happen and perfect things for you. That's that. So why don't we go into our giveaways? Maggie, can we get a person for a Triton costume set?
Yes, we can have all the winners.
Yay!
Yay!
All of the winners.
Post them in
We're
chat
all
really quick,
winners, though.
and then I will also name them out. Here we go. You've all been tagged. I will be sending you a private message on Twitch. Gleonger is the first one.
All right.
Yay!
Yes. What's their name? Sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Gleonger.
Yeah.
And then we have
Yay.
Lord
Do it, Lee.
Longinus.
Yay!
That's a familiar name.
Yeah.
Snuffs DX.
Oh, I like that
Yeah.
name.
And then we have Milo EU.
Yay!
Hey, all right.
Excellent.
And those are our winners.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Oh my God. Where's-
Keep following us for more information on the main site. You can follow us at WildStar via Twitter. You can also talk to us on Reddit, talk to us on the forums. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook. We keep all of these places updated. Keep your ears and eyes on the news as we continue to update with more information in the next few weeks. That is all we have. Say goodbye, boys.
Bye,
Bye,
boys.
Goodbye, boys.